Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Faust Talks with another Faust Talk at night. Well, it's just 7 right now. So yeah, a little bit past 7, as you can see. But it is becoming winter, and it's getting darker and darker per day. I don't know what they said about 2 minutes or 1 minute per day. The day shortens or something like that after whatever it's called. So yeah, the day shortens by a few minutes every day after the solstice, winter or summer solstice kind of thing. That is what they say. I don't know. I don't have any proof. I'm just speaking. But alrighty then. So I am actually going to tell you guys a little bit about Warmachine, that game I play. Excuse me, that other miniature game I play. So, Warmachine. Okay, so since I told you about the warcasters, the units, the unit attachments, the solos, the artillery pieces, the battle engines, things like that. Mercenaries, the minions. Alright, so how the game starts is, yes, it goes turn by turn, but there's no phases like 40k. Every unit, every model, when it activates, oh crud, I don't know what's going on up here, but when it activates, they activate for all their things. So like for example, they will... Crud. Dude, what the hell? Really? Fuck you. Yeah, look at that guy. Piece of shit right there. Piece of shit. So there is, whenever a unit or anything activates, that it must do all of its things at once. So it must do its movement, it must do its attack, all its different things, recovery, all the stuff in that single unit's turn. So yes, there are some modes of the game is that you activate one piece, I activate one piece, and then we just keep going back and forth. But let's go with the basic tournament of Warhammer hordes. So yeah, you would get your turn, you will put your warcaster out, and you would set up. So you set up your army all at once, and so there's like there's a first person, second person, so you already know before you set anything up. So it's like the first person would set up their army, and then the second person would set it up as a counter. So yeah, going first, you do get the advantage of going first. But the second person has the advantage of going second, where you can actually set up your models to counteract the opponents, which is actually pretty useful. It is helpful. You can counteract it. And secondarily is that all points that are gained are not gained on the opponent's turn, but at the end of the second player's turn. So yes, is that you can see that there's benefits for someone going second. But remember, if you go first, you will just get the initial advantage, because you go first and you set everything up to how you to what you want to do. Going first has so much advantage, dude. That's the reason why. That's the reason why the game Go is that when you go first, the second player already starts with 15 points. Or something like that. Start with 15 points, and then the first player, goes, because you have that advantage of going first. Because it's you're the one that sets up the board. Okay, so Second player goes first, and points are gained at the end of the second player's turn. There is two ways you can win. You can win through objectives, or you can win through taking out the opponent's Warcaster, their main model. Second player has more advantage of playing the objectives, because at the end of your turn you will gain points and the opponent gains points. So it is always best to go for objectives if you ever go second. Yeah, first player can go for objectives, but remember, the second player has a chance to clear your models out before both of you gain points. And there's different kinds of objectives. There's zones, so we're talking about a large foot, like a 12-inch circle, or you have like little flags that you can gain points from. We have like little squares that are about 6 inches by 12 inches. It's like a little rectangle, and those are the zones you can capture. Certain zones can only be captured by one thing, but it can be contested by anything, or something like that. It can be contested. Yeah, that's how it is. Is that only certain things can take it, but certain things can contest it. And there's like oh hey, I have one guy here. That means you can't gain the point because I'm contesting it. How the contestant is ran is that if you're on the zone, you have to be fully within the zone, and you must have at least 2 more models than the enemy has. So the infantry counts as 1, light warjacks count as 2, heavy warjacks count as 3, Colossus count as 5, Warcasters count as 5 also. So you need at least 7 units on an objective where Warcasters contest it, so you can gain the points from it. And yeah, like I said, the Warcasters are one of the most powerful units in the game. Some of the best armor, best defense, decent, like pretty good attack, stuff like that. But once again, is that they're a target, because they know if I take out your Warcaster, I'm going to win. So you have people literally gunning for it. It's like, yeah, it might take me an arm and a leg to take out your Warcaster, but if I lose like these 2 units to do that, I still win. I've literally seen people where somebody brings their Warcaster up close, and literally it's like, oh hey, my turn's activated. I move away from combat, and that allows combat has a range depending on your unit. Melee combat has a range depending on your unit. It is from half an inch all the way up to 2 inches. So there's half an inch, an inch, and 2 inches. So that allows you to have range whenever you do melee. So there's different range, and if you leave that range in melee, like purposefully, is that you get that the enemy gets the free strike on you. Free strike is 1 extra dice plus 2 to your attack roll, so the roll that allows you to hit, and yeah, so it's an extra dice. And that is okay. So people have done that. They will do that with like their warjacks and stuff like that. Take a free hit, take some damage, just so they can focus on the caster. Because like, hey, your caster's in range of all my guns. I'm going to shoot everything at you. Yeah, I might deal 1-2 damage and you have 15 life, but I'm easily able to do over 30 damage to you. And yes, you can neglect some, and I'll do like 1-2 damage a shot, and you can use one of your focus or furies to reduce the damage to 0 to you. But I have more than enough shots that even if you use up all your resistance, like all your prevent damage and transfer damage, I'm still going to kill you. So people do have that as a secondary. Yeah, your main thing might be I'm going for objectives, but this is my secondary in case you're dumb enough to bring your warcaster into shooting range. And boof, they do that, and it does come out pretty darn nasty many times. Alright, so let me explain how the phases, or not the phases, but an activation work. So whenever you choose to activate a model, let's say I'm going to activate my Manticore Heavy Warjack of Retribution of Syra. So I activate, the guy can move 6 inches. So I move 6 inches with it in any direction. If I want to advance, yes. Advancing sacrifices you will sacrifice your all your initial attacks to move. So and you have to spin a focus on it. So yeah, you can move or you can advance. So pretty much at the end of the advancement, your turn ends after the end of like if you advance, like run, advance. But normal advance is just the basic movement, so 6 inches. Okay, and then it has a 12-inch gun on it. So if there's anything within 12 inches of my Warjack, I can shoot at it. It can shoot up to 3 times. It's a D3 shots it has. Go up there, there's one unit. There's a unit of some infantry. Infantry that's weak enough to not do enough damage to me, even if they charge. They'll deal a little bit, but not enough to really screw up my jack. Go up there, shoot them twice. Boof, boof. It has a rat, a range attack. Yeah, range attack stat of 6. So range attack stat, it's RAT, R-A-T. That's what it says on the card. And it is, it's 6. So it is 6 plus 2 dice that I have. These guys are 13. So I would need to roll at least a 7 on these 2 dice, which is average, which I have at least a 55% chance of hitting 7 whenever I roll. So it's like, okay, I can do this. You roll, you hit twice. All right. After you hit the dice, because every attack is separate. So you roll 1 attack. It hits, and then damage. Their armor is 15, which is like, okay, your armor's a little bit low, 15 armor. But they're standing together and they have their solo with them, so their armor goes up to 17. The damage of my weapon is 12. So all I need is 5 or higher than 5, because 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I need to get 6 or higher to do damage, because if I do 5, it meets armor, and armor still blocks it. So I roll, so I need at least a 6. So I roll an 8. That is 2 more higher than armor. These infantry are single wound infantry. So yeah, they take to 2 damage, but it only takes 1 wound to kill that single model. And the thing is that the person doesn't choose which model dies, you choose which model you're hitting. So it's like, I'm hitting that model right there. I hit, I pop, he's dead. All right, second shot goes into this model here. I pop, shoot, that model is dead. Yes, that model had your special weapon on there, but because you brought it up too close, I was able to shoot that model specifically. And yes, so like where I'm saying it is very, very, very like competition and very like fine and executed properly kind of thing. So all your movements has to be proper movement, and all your units, they have a command bubble. Whoever is the leader of your unit is that you make sure you designate one model to be the leader, unless you have a leader model in there, is that they are the leader and they have a bubble, say like a 6-inch, 9-inch, 10-inch bubble that they have, that all your models can be within, anywhere within that bubble, and they are considered still in command, like you're in the command range, so you're still within formation. So it allows that. And then also too is like there's a lot of shots and blast weapons that do template damage. So like sprays and splash damage that you have, they are templates. So whenever you hit with it, yes, it is a template that you strike with. The template is so you pretty much have a template, a circle template for blast that goes from 3 inches or like a 3-inch to 5-inch blast. It's one little blast template that has lines on it that it's like, hey, there's 3 inches, there's 4 inches, there's 5 inches. Those are all different blast ranges that you can use. And then there is the spray. The spray is pretty much up to 10 inches long, and it's a very slight, like cone wedge kind of thing that goes out. And like anything under the template is hit if you have any of the template stuff. So that's the reason why they give you a command bubble, just so you can be able to avoid getting hit or your whole unit getting wiped out with a single blast. But alrighty then, guys, I've been here already too long talking. I will talk to you guys later. Like and subscribe, and remember, always love the countdown.